You're going to want to win over your new class because of something called the law of reciprocity. This law states that when you are nice to someone, when you're kind to them, when you do them a favor, they want to pay you back in kind. This is based on psychology and human nature. And we want to leverage it in the classroom in order to get the most out of our students academically, and also to leverage this law for good behavior. The problem with the law of reciprocity is that it works the other way too. So if your students don't like you, if they feel as if you're picking on them, or there's any sort of resentment towards you, then they're also going to want to pay you back because of that. They'll pay you back with misbehaving in your classroom, or behind your back, or not trying. A lot of kids think that they can get back at the teacher by not giving any effort. So in today's video, we're going to talk about how to use the law of reciprocity and how it's really an effortless way of winning over your new class. It's something that you can use without really even trying. And so in today's video, we're going to go over the 5 things you need to do to sort of trigger this law in play with your students. We're also going to go over a danger that is lurking, and so you don't want to miss that at the end of the video. Before we get there, do me a favor. Please subscribe to this channel. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below. I would really appreciate it. So to unlock the law of reciprocity with your students, you first need to rely on your classroom management plan exclusively. For all misbehavior, you want to allow your plan to do all the work for you, so you don't get pulled into battling with students. The other reason is that it's fair. If you are consistent, if your rules are clear, then it is fair, and students can see this through your actions, through your teaching of your plan. Now, if you want more information about a classroom management plan, we talked about it in the previous video, and I'll leave a link below so you can see that video about why it's so important to teach it on the first day of school. The next thing is related to this is that you must remove all friction with students. So friction refers to anything like lecturing, individual lecturing, sarcasm, berating students, glaring, reacting emotionally to misbehavior, giving your 2 cents when you're taking students to timeout. Any of these things that have the potential to create resentment between you and your students, you must remove it completely from your teaching. Now, today's video is how we're going to start triggering this law on the very first day of school, but these are things that you're going to commit to and do the entire school year. So yes, you're going to commit to no friction whatsoever. Nothing good comes of it. Now, in the moment, if you take a student and you yell at them or you use intimidation, in the moment, yes, it can work in the moment, but the cost over the course of the year is so high because it's triggering the bad law of reciprocity, and that student is going to try to get back at you. Think about those teachers who are unlikable with their students, and the entire class is against them. Many classrooms, the teacher is on one side, students on the other, and they are battling all day long. We're not going to do that. We're going to trigger this law of reciprocity so we like and enjoy being with our students, and they like and enjoy being with us and being in our classroom. The next thing is that you're going to stop all, so no individual rapport. No individual rapport. You're not going to go to students anymore and try to get to know them better. We've discussed this in previous videos. When you go to students, for many kids, it feels awkward and weird to them that you are hanging around them and talking about their personal likes and dislikes. Now, if it happens organically, and we'll talk about that in a minute, if those conversations happen organically, it's perfectly okay. But no longer are you going to go to students and try to get to know them better. This is the standard advice and standard practice for years and years and years. It doesn't work. If it worked 20, 30 years ago, maybe, but it doesn't work any longer. It makes students feel uncomfortable. It makes them dislike you rather than like you. It also can bring up lots of feelings of you playing favorites and jealousies and friendship drama and all this sort of thing, and students being confused about what your relationship is with them. And so no individual rapport whatsoever. The relationship is between you and your class as a whole, not between you and individual one-on-one students. This is especially true with difficult students. We're going to talk about difficult students more and more in the coming weeks, especially as the new year begins. And so wait for that, but no individual rapport with any student in your classroom. The next thing, it's really important that you are, that you be yourself. That you be yourself. This is really important. If you're not a outgoing and enthusiastic type of person, then don't put on that act in front of students. You don't have to. It's not needed. Yes, if you love your content knowledge and if you've really prepared well for lessons, you're going to want to be enthusiastic about your topic. But putting on sort of this fake enthusiasm where you are overpraising students and giving false praise and not being honest with students with your praise, this sort of thing, it backfires on you. When you are who you are your most charismatic you can be. If you try to be charismatic and try to be something you're not, then kids can see through you. People can see through you. This is why it's really important that you're just yourself, your best self. I don't mean that you're going to be grumpy or this sort of thing. I just mean the best part of who you are. Never try to put on an act. Now, we've talked about how teaching is in some ways is putting on a performance, but this only refers to doing those things like following through, and having a clean classroom. It's these strategies that may not be who you are on the outside, who you are at home, but that work in the classroom. But this one, as far as your personality goes, if you're a quieter person, it's perfectly okay. I'm a pretty quiet person, a very quiet person, and so I've never been this sort of bombastic sort of teacher, but I know that my likability is just being who I am because it works for everyone. If you are that person, though, if you are super outgoing and you have that theater personality, well then be that. Go for that because that's where your greatest charisma and likability lies. The next thing is, and you can always fall back on this one. We've been saying this for years and years at Smart Classroom Management. We describe it as being consistently pleasant. This is all you need to do to build effortless, powerful rapport with students. Consistently pleasant. And it triggers while being yourself, it triggers the law of reciprocity like nothing else. It's just being nice to students. Every day when you see them, saying hello, giving a fist bump to your whole class, smiling at your students, those simple things, saying thank you to them, just real common, polite things. And when you've removed all friction and you're just consistently pleasant, it's so unusual these days. It really is. You're going to stand out, and your students are going to love you for it. They're absolutely going to love you for it. This is something, again, that we have. All of this has been just tested again and again and again from students from kindergarten all the way up through high school. Really, really powerful. And just being nice, again, triggers that law more than anything. And kids really they want to behave for you. They want to show you that they're following directions. Rapport comes naturally because they want to be around you. You don't have to go to build individual rapport because the kids come to you. They want to get to know you better and ask you questions. And then when they come to you, then it's an organic sort of relationship. It's a bit like, and I feel like kind of strange for saying this, but it's a bit like playing hard to get a little bit. You're just being nice and kids are just drawn to you by being yourself and being consistently pleasant. So what's the danger? So there is a big danger, and the danger is that after you teach your classroom management plan and after you're really clear with all that, and that's all, of course, very, very important, and after the first few days of the school year, students will begin testing you, and they do this to see if you really are who you say you are. Because so many teachers aren't. So many teachers have rules and say they're going to follow them and just don't. And students are used to this. And so they may come in the class one day, the third day of school or the first week of school, and act as if you never even went over rules before. Or you'll have individual students test you. So this testing is a test to see if you can rely on your classroom management plan without causing friction while still continuing to be pleasant and kind to your students. If you let misbehavior get under your skin, if you take it personally, and these are topics for future videos, so we can go in depth in how not to do this, but because we have some strategies around that. But if you can do that in the face of testing, it's so powerful, and those kids are like, oh yeah, this is the real deal. And it's so powerful and effective. But the key is first day of school, all 5 of these, stick with it. You'll have an incredible school year. Hope this helps. Hope you're having a great week. See you next time.